Hi folks, and welcome back to my daily vlog. Now today I'm going to be testing out my Rode mic Go 2. That's for sound quality, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. And also I'm going to be knocking up a bit of wholemeal bread to show you guys how to make wholemeal bread. Anyway, without any ado, we'll get right on with the video. And for your wholemeal bread recipe, you want 1300 grams of water, 28 grams of salt, 28 grams of bread improver, or you can use vitamin C, 56 grams of yeast, that's fresh yeast, 1812 grams of wholemeal flour. Now we've weighed the recipe up, all we need to do is now make the dough. And now I've got our ingredients into the bowl. So yeast and flour in, add in your improver and your salt. Always make sure your salt is away from your yeast. So your yeast is over here, just for now. Add in your water. Now that dough is going to be taking around about 10 minutes to mix. The dough's now been mixing for around about 5 minutes. And as you can see by the dough itself, it's looking though it's actually starting to turn into a dough. Now at this stage it's a good thing to actually check your dough to make sure it's not too stiff and not too slack. If it's too slack, add some more flour, and if it's a bit hard, add some more water. We'll have a look. That is actually on the slack side, but with wholemeal it will suck up the water. As it's almost like your cornflakes. You add milk onto your cornflakes and it always sucks that water, doesn't it? You know what a rich tea biscuit looks like when you put it in tea and it drops in. It soaks up the tea. Right, we'll give that another 5 minutes. At any stage, if you want to speed up your mixing and you've got a machine that you can actually put it onto second speed, then go for it. But remember, if you're upping the speed of the dough, you want to cut down the time that you're mixing it. Right, the dough's ready, and we'll get her off. So we'll leave it in the bowl for now, and then we'll get it out on the table, and we'll scale it off. Just cover it over. The dough's ready. We've turned off the machine. Now you need to let that rest for around about 10 to 15 minutes until it just starts to move. Now if you're not using any bread improver, you need to wait for it to double its size. Now remember, it all depends on the temperature that everything's at. Right, so this is what your dough should look like. It's got a nice little spring back. And obviously this is rested now for around about 10 minutes. So it's actually ready to go. Now, if you come across to this one, this has got no improver in it. See, so, and that's actually now doubled its size and ready to go, and also the white. Now, wholemeal is a completely different beast. It's not like those. So this, with the improver in, it can get a little bit sticky, and I prefer it a little bit stickier side than a little bit too stiff. Because in baking, all that water will evaporate anyway. Right, we'll get in scaler off. Now it depends on what you want out of the dough. Put plenty of flour down. So three small loaves. And I should get 2 large ones. So that's the amount of dough you get out of that mix. So I'm going to mold these into cobs type shape. This is going to go into my bread tins. So when you're molding them up, you've got like a little tail. Now with these, it's a different kettle of fish. And what we need to do is knock it out. Use the back of your hand like this. Right, fold it over. And then using that part across here, and just do that. And then grab hold of it and sort of roll it up. Like that. Right, your tins are in your proving box. I've already sprayed the tins with prep spray. This is what's available off my eBay store, if you want any. So we'll just get the bread dough into the tins. Now for proving, these are going to be proving for around about 3/4 an hour, give or take. And the height of the loaf when they're ready is up to about this high. These ones won't because of the shape of the tins. Depends on your tins, but around about this high, give or take. Now you're going to be proving these at a temperature of around about 25 Celsius. And that's about it. In fact, you don't need a box or anything really. You can just cover it over if you want. But I prefer to use the box if I'm at home. Now all we do is cover them over. There's your wholemeal in the prover box, all ready. Now that should take around about 45 minutes to prove up. Now the only problem is, whilst I'm down here in the bakery making recipes, it takes up time of my normal production. So sometimes it's really a bit hard to mix the two together because my dough's here or practically ready to go. Though I've got my rolls in the prover, it's sort of like mixing it all together. It's quite difficult really, but I'm sure I'll get around to it because you guys out there said to me, Steve, we'd like to see you do it more at the bakery. Well, now with this new mic on me, hopefully it's not going to be as echoey as it was before. And that was my whole point. It was a bit echoey. It's still echoey in here now. So hopefully that will take out some of the sound in the background, which are around me. Anyway, I'll get on to my daily job. Right, my bread's ready in the prover and we'll get our buns in. And then we'll deal with these ones. We'll now have a look at the wholemeal. Oh yes, just ready. So what we want to do now is just put them over by the oven. Right, the bread's ready. Now, you can see how high that is. Now it's up to you. I like to put a line across the top of it, or you can just leave it as it is. Right, and we'll get them into the oven. Now I'm just going to bake these on the deck of the oven. Now the oven temperature is 270 Celsius and we're going to be baking them for around about 30 to 35 minutes. Depends on your oven. That's my oven. So give or take, halfway through, just turn around and you'll be on the money. Right, I'll get the rest of my normal bread in now. Yeah, since the virus had been around, obviously business in bread sales of normal bread has just gone completely down. That's because everybody decided to use the supermarket or online. So us small bakers were sort of like down to the nitty gritty. And this here is my Monday morning's bread, which is a bit gutting really, because at one stage on a Monday, I would actually have all these ovens on fully. So you can just give you some idea of what a downturn has been. For me, I just gutted about it, you know. I can't answer the question, you know. Oh well, never mind. You just, life goes on, doesn't it? I'm sure I'll sort out something different. In fact, if this was cups of coffee, I make more money out of cups of coffee than I do bread. So what, you know where I'm going with this, don't you? Anyway, I'll get this into the oven. Right folks, the bread's ready. We'll get it out. And a good way of telling if your bread's done, just look at the bottom, give it a little tap. It's hollow, it's ready. Just take them out the tins and let them cool down. Well, this is the loaf that comes out of the bread flour I sell on my eBay store. And as you can see, it's a nice loaf. Now, you can add white flour to this if you like, but that'll just make it rise a bit further. And also, with the same flour, if you beat it up on second speed, again, you're going to get a high volume. So this stuff is actually quite good for your machines and those little box machines, you know, the ones that throw the flour in, it makes it for you. Well, there you go, guys. It's as simple as that. Well, folks, now for the road test, to test out what that sounds like, in here, as you've seen in this video, you'd have heard the sound of the machines going. So that gives you some idea of what this mic is picking up in here and the echoing. So when I take out the mic and you listen to it without the sound, just straight from the camera, you'll notice straight away. So what I'm going to do is now take out the mic. So I've now taken out the mic, so you can straight away hear the difference between my voice echoing here. I've also done a bit earlier where I switched it off on a machine, so you can hear the sound in here, and at the moment you could probably hear me echoing. Woo! It echoes in here. So once I put this back in again, straight away you can hear the difference. I know you can go onto other YouTube channels which specialise in this type of thing. Now, what they don't show you is using this mic in a business, which makes a lot of noise. They always show you in their studio, mucking about, or this, that, and the other. It's never in real life. It's always a set. This is not a set. This is a fully blown bakery. This has got echoing. It's got everything. So whatever this mic is picking up, it'd be interesting to see. Even I don't know. And I'm talking to you now, I don't know what that's doing. Because don't forget, I've only just bought it. So this is all new to me. It's a very easy setup. There is no problem setting up. It's very easy to work out as well. And if it really does what it says on the tin, I'm going to be really chuffed. I think it is. I've done a test yesterday and I walked away from my house a distance and I was still chopsing away to myself and it come out as though it was like I'm here now. Right, test one. We're going to see how far I can get before we lose our sound. Oh. Yeah, I'm just checking on you just to make sure you're still watching me. Ah, it's lovely and warm today. Great. Some old bloke going down the street talking to himself. Isn't that odd? You can still see me from here. I wonder how good that sound is. I'm going to stand over here. Next to the cafe seat. Let's see if you can see how perfect that sound is. There's no way this is going to be that from this distance, but we'll have a look. Can you see me now? Yeah, I'm over here. Yeah, it does look funny, doesn't it? When somebody's walking, talking to themselves. You get this all the time when they have their mobile phones in their hands and they don't realise that everybody's listening to them. But no one's really giving the monkeys what they're talking about, unless they're talking about something really, really interesting. Or unless they've had debt collectors come to their house and then you're listening in like nobody's business. So I wonder what this sounds like. I'm out of breath now. It's been one of them days today. It's been really, really hot. So then folks, what do you think? How long and how distant was this? But at the very far end, when I got to the furthest distance, it did start to go, but that's only because I was facing away from the actual camera. But as I turned round, it went loud again. So it just proves the point I could have walked even further. Well, there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. It's got a bit of a mixture on here, and obviously making bread, and you sort of got a picture of what I'm doing. And it is Monday morning, and it's always, Mondays is usually the worst day of the week anyway. And at the moment, we've got temperatures outside at around about 30 degrees. So the temperature in here, I don't even want to go there, to let you know, because it's a lot hotter in my kitchen. And I haven't got studio lights here. This is just the bakery lights, and there's nothing. I've got I only got 3 lights in the bakery and 1 on the camera. So it's not even got a lot of lighting. So I'm always weary when I come down the bakery whether I've got enough lighting when I'm filming or not. But do check out the description, because there may be something down there that may interest you. And if you want to subscribe, subscribe. And if you want to share, share. And we'll see you again very shortly on the daily blog on the Crazy Baker channel. Laters! This is the Crazy Baker channel. Baking. Lifestyle. Recipes. Reviews. I am the Crazy Baker. Please subscribe and please share. Laters!